It's a simple understanding that, how can, if we don't want to give in charity and be kind and just and truthful and honest to people or be giving, how can we then in turn expect the Father to open the gates of the kingdom to us when we can't even be, you know, just charitable in a sense of the things that we have amongst our brothers and sisters. That's just, I mean, it's that simple. That's what it's speaking towards. Uh, you'll have some who borrow money from their brother with no real intention of ever paying it back. They will have the money to pay them back, yet go buy expensive, unnecessary possessions and then play the victim when they start to see their brother's countenance change before them. You know what I mean? Where they know I need to, I wrongfully did this or I got over, and now they see that, man, they really didn't owe me that extra two or whatever. And now we want to feel a certain type of way because we can see the countenance of that brother change. Or because I borrowed money from the brother and I haven't paid him back, but I got on a new watch, and I want to be like, man, why is he looking at me like that when we know we've been wrong? We wrong. We have to, deal justly with each other, man. And I'm gonna tell you, especially as a body, as individuals, but as a body, the more and more we do that as a people, as we're returning to the Father, man, the Most High is gonna bless our efforts and bless it. I really strongly feel and believe that that we're moving into some important and sensitive times, and it's gonna be vital. These things are really important.
That our light shine.
Yes, that our light shine, that we really link into the Most High on these simple levels, not just worried about and concerned about the deepest of breakdowns and all these things, and how many different, secret books that we done figured out that we can read. We need to really, these are the things that we need to really put our foremost focus on, you know?
Character.
That's right. Character, love, charity, truth, and honesty amongst each other. The Most High will, man, that's what's gonna, believe it or not, that's what's gonna see us through. This is what's gonna see us through. I mean, it could be almost as simple as just this. We'll see you through. We'll see you through this. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 27.
Y'all there? Proverbs chapter 3, verse 27. Withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is in the power of thy hand to do it.
Withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is in the power of thine hand to do it. If it's within your power to help somebody and they are due, some level of help, don't withhold it. What about when you just need that hand? What if you when you just need that hand to just reach out and just, we got to be able to be that to each other, not have our fists clenched and our hands closed like, and this is all mine. Like, that's what's gonna truly end up leaving us with the short end of the stick, like we were reading when the Most High, when we just read, those who are not able to give. Where did we just read that? First Thessalonians. Or wait, where is it at? Yeah, in Psalms 37. The wicked borroweth and pay not again, but the righteous showeth mercy and giveth. For such as be blessed of him shall inherit the earth, and they who be cursed of him shall be cut off. If we curse, meaning like you got it to give to somebody, but you won't. Of course, blessing somebody is like, I can spare that. This sister's in need of that. I can help with that. We cursing ourselves. That's what I'm saying. That's where that blessing and where the Most High is able to intervene and be amongst us when we are learning to be more operate like that.
That's when we fully represent him.
That's when we represent Him, and that's when He's able to come and represent with us. That's when the Spirit can abide. You know. Let's get. No, go ahead and read 27 and then 28 again. It's Proverbs 3 and 27.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 27 again.
Yeah.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 27. Withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is in the power of your hand to do it. Say not unto thy neighbor, go and come again, and tomorrow I will give, when thou hast it by thee.
Right. You know, it's like, maybe if I send them away, they won't come back. Maybe somebody else will give it to them. I got it right here. They at the door, and it's right on the other side. I'm like, oh, I'm busy. Can you come back? I'm not sure I want to give it to you. I mean, in your mind, that's what you're thinking. I'm not sure. Let me think about it. I want to, we got, and this next scripture, go ahead and get it. And it's in Ecclesiasticus, in the Apocrypha, 29 and 20. But before we get that, if you go ahead and get it, but if you see your brother who is known for helping others, make sure you help him when it's within your need, within your means. Don't tell him I got to think about it or come back another time. You know what I mean? We got to be able to help each other.
Nice, Sama.
Yeah.
Got a question. Would you say that this lesson evolved around treat others how you want to be treated?
So much so. He's saying, does this revolve around treating others how you want to be treated? I mean, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Because when we can encompass the idea of that, I mean, you in a sense have, you encompassing the idea of this whole book. Learning how to treat our brothers and sisters. As deep as this book goes, and the understanding in this book is manifold, and so meaning the breakdowns and the precepts and the depth of knowledge is heavy and serious. But the simplest idea of knowing and understanding how to love our brothers and sisters, that is like the training ground of preparing to be received by the Most High. Learning and operating with the Father in these manners, it's like the pruning of the hedges, the molding of the clay. It's the preparation of perfection to be ready for the Father. When we can adapt and apply what we need to do to one another, the other things are automatic. Like it's all happening. That's where our focus needs to be, is dealing with one another correctly in truth and in honesty. Right? So like we were reading in Proverbs, if you have it, don't send your brother away. Tell him to come tomorrow. Let's go ahead and read Sirach or Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 29, verse 20.
Sirach chapter 29, verse 20. Help thy neighbor according to your power.
Help thy neighbor according to your power, right?
And beware that thou thyself fall not into shame.
Into the same.
To the same.
Right? So what this is talking about is saying, help thy brother and sister in your power. If you have the ability, just like we just read in Proverbs, if you have it and are able to share and help. But beware that thyself fall not into the same. So, as powerful as the idea of charity is, charity covers a multitude of sins. We also must be wise that we don't give more than we can. You know, that's what this scripture is speaking on. We give what we have in our power to give. We need to also be wise. It says, but beware that thou thyself fall not into the same. I can't, have my family to take care of and a brother need food and I give him everything that I was supposed to feed my family. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be wise. That's not, not get it confused. And all our get understanding. The Most High's wisdom and word is perfect. He's not telling us to give until we don't have, to where now we are negligent to our family and are neglecting ourselves and our, But it like the scripture said, if you have it, don't send the brother away and tell him to come tomorrow. If you're able to help him wisely and give that and be okay, help him. The Most High is not asking us to squeeze, wine from a rock and give it to somebody, but we do have to need to have a level of charitability and be able to help when we can, right? Let's get Leviticus 25 and 14.
Y'all there? Leviticus chapter 25, verse 14. And if thou sell aught unto thy neighbor, or buy aught of thy neighbor's hand, ye shall not oppress one another.
Right. We should not oppress one another. Let's again look to get over. But you see, we going right back to the basics and the powerful word and commandments that the Most High gave us to begin with. They were only given to us. This is the Most High's word. Stay there in Leviticus 25 and go to 17. So we not to look to turn an extra profit off of each other and build up interest off of each other. And, that's not the way we're supposed to operate amongst each other. Verse 17.
Verse 17. Ye shall not therefore oppress one another, but thou shalt fear thy power. For I am the Most High, your God.
All right. So we are not to oppress one another, but we knowing, it says, but fear the Most High, knowing that he sees all, and proper and correct judgment will be brought forth. We should operate with each other as if the Most High is present, because he is. Nothing is being missed. Let's get Proverbs chapter 16, verse 8.
Proverbs chapter 16, verse 8. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without right.
Right. So it's saying it's better to have little through righteousness than to gain abundant things, through unrighteousness or being defraudulent or lying or untruthful. Let's get Isaiah chapter 5, verse 8. Just getting some more, understanding on, the importance of not looking at things temporally or materialistically, and looking to just hoard to ourselves everything that we can, and with a misunderstanding of that actually being, a detriment to ourselves. Go ahead and read that.
Yes, sir. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 8. Woe unto them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there be no place, that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth.
Mm-hmm. So they joining house to house, they buying up property, land, and until there's nothing left. They looking to, hoard up all of these things to themselves until there'll be nothing left, and they find themselves in the midst of the earth alone. Read verse 9.
Yes, sir. That's similar to what Hollywood stars be doing, buying big old houses.
Yeah, I mean, we see it. I'm sure it's similar here as it is in Kansas City, where you'll have the different moguls who are just buying up different properties and buying up homes and allotting out to. I mean, I know in a lot of ways these things are normal to us. You know, this is just the world we live in. Like, oh yeah, of course people do that, Deacon. I mean, yeah. I mean, but look at where it has gotten us. Look at this earth that we live in. These are, I mean, the things that we have become accustomed to accepting and just being the norm are not okay in the Most High's eyes. You know what I mean? And that's why when we look toward a kingdom, a righteous kingdom, and that's why we look at see the Most High in His Word and His anger being kindled at everything that's happening down here right now, where you have people who are able to buy large shares and properties and lots of land and hoard it all up to themselves and sit back and watch so many people without anything, you know, struggling from day to day and having to, you know, drink chemically infested waters and I mean all of these things. This is what the Most High is speaking against. And as simple as these ideas seem, you see how much of a problem and trouble it is for people to abide by. When it comes time to make a decision, what decision are we gonna make? When it comes time to say, man, I could have all of this, or I could be obedient to, you know, I could do the right thing. I could operate in truth and righteousness and equality and share and take care of. You know what I mean? That's where that decision come in. Yes, brother.
That's why you see a lot of people that house is sitting up because they don't operate the way the Most High would have them operate. You know,
That's
they
right.
can't do nothing with it because you know the property they have and the grief they have, it's not of God. You see, so they wound up with nothing and it's sitting there for nothing.
Look at it all. It's all crumbling.
That's what you're talking about, right?
So it's exactly what we're talking about. It's all the whole system's going down. Whether it's a house, a business, a stock market. I mean, it's all about to. I mean, we're seeing it happen.
Right before
Um, where you at? Proverbs?
Isaiah 5.
Oh, Isaiah 5. Okay, verse 9.
Isaiah chapter 5, verse 9. In mine ears saith the Most High, the Lord of hosts, of a truth, many houses shall be desolate, even great and fair, without inhabitant.
That's what the brother just said, right? Temporary. These people looking without the wisdom of the Most High to pull and gain unto themselves, not knowing these things lead to nothing. It leads to desolation. Let's get Deuteronomy 27 and 17.
Deuteronomy chapter 27, verse 17. Cursed be he that remove his neighbor's landmark, and all the people shall say, Amen.
Cursed is he that remove his neighbor's landmark. A landmark is something, of course, that marks the land, saying this is my property. I mean, we see people conniving, and these simple verses and commandments can come off so, you know, it's a simple idea, right? Yeah, of course, obviously, cursed is the guy who steals somebody's property. These are the things that were spoken years and years ago, and we are seeing the effects of today. Like these are the things that have taken place that have put us in the place that we are today,
Right.
because the Most High's word has been transgressed at an all-time high. I mean, it's nothing to go and try to take somebody's property right from under them if you know the law right and go downtown. And I mean, these things just, I mean, that's the world we living in. We can't operate in that fashion. We got to remove ourselves. The temptations of getting a quick buck or however, we got to make sure we set in our treasures in an everlasting place. That's what we doing. Those mansions in the kingdom that nobody's gonna take. Nobody can foreclose on it. Nobody can move anybody out of it. Let's get Exodus 20, chapter 17.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife.
We know what covet means, like to look at what someone else has and want it for yourself, to be jealous of, to covet other people's property, other people's things, other people's spouse, wife, husband. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. And
Right. Go ahead from there. Go into Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 29.
Yes, sir.
And I just have a few more verses we're going to get here. Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha. And we're going to go to chapter 29.
Yes, sir.
And we'll start at verse 10.
Y'all there?
You know, but like we just read in Exodus, we're not to covet. You know, the Most High is just to bless us. Just operate in righteousness and truth and in his commandments. Go ahead there. Ecclesiastes 29 and 10.
Ecclesiastes chapter 29, verse 10. Lose thy money for thy brother and thy friend, and let it not rust under a stone to be lost.
Right. Holding and letting sit things that you know that you won't even need. Like these, gathering up and hoarding stuff that you're just gonna let sit and rust because you'd rather hold it than share and take care of others in need. Go ahead.
Verse 11. Lay up thy treasure according to the commandments of the Most High, and it shall bring thee more profit than gold.
Right. So he's speaking of treasures outside of gold and material things. Lay up the true treasures that'll bring you more profit than the gold and the material things. Go ahead.
Shut up alms in thy storehouses, and it shall deliver thee from all affliction.
So we know what alms means. That means when you're giving to the poor. Store up things in preparation to take care of those who need it. He's saying store up alms in your storehouse. Not so this isn't saying just store up things in your storehouse and let it rust, obviously, because we were just speaking on that in 10. But alms means store up things to give to the poor. If you have it like that, you should be looking to be equitable and fair and righteous with the excess that you have. Look to give to those who are in need. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
And it shall bring thee more profit than gold. It's going to profit you more to look to be charitable than it would for you to fill up 15 storehouses on stuff you can't do nothing with anyway. Go ahead.
It shall fight for thee against thine enemies, better than a mighty shield and a strong spear.
Mm-hmm.
An honest man is surety for his neighbor, but he that is impudent will forsake him.
Right. An honest man is surety for his neighbor, meaning, a righteous, honest man will do these things and be a stronghold, a surety to his neighbor. To where take care of those when he see those in need, and that's what we are called to do, especially amongst each other, especially as a body and brothers and sisters in this understanding in this body as a church. I just have a couple more scriptures here and we'll be wrapping up. Let's get 1 Corinthians chapter 13.
1 Corinthians chapter 13. Y'all there?
And verse 11, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir. 1 Corinthians 13, verse 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things.
So as we learn and understand these things, we need to move in these things, right? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know even as also I am known.
Mm-hmm.
And now abide faith, hope,
And now abideth, right? Faith.
faith, hope, charity. These three. But the greatest of these is charity.
So the greatest of these things in the Most High's eyes is charity. But understand, like, once we understand walking in this righteousness, and we are come from being a child into an understood, learned man, and are not only no longer seeing darkly, but can see clearly. We understand and we walk in the faith as well, even the faith of knowing that what I have faith in the Most High, that I don't have to wring out an extra $5 off of every guy I get a chance to, because I know the Most High gonna take care of me. Like, I have faith that me operating justly is gonna be enough. Period. I know that because I have more treasure in the Most High than I do in an extra bucks or extra couple hundred thousands, however many it is. I know I have faith in the Most High, knowing I'm more secure with Him than I am with any money. That's what it's saying. And knowing this, it says, and now abideth in me faith, hope. Like, I hope and have a hope in knowing that I'm gonna be good. I'm straight. And charity. That gives you now, I know I can be charitable. I understand the Most High's ways. I can give that to my brother and not feel a certain way, or feel that I might not make it, or feel that, man, that's going to come back to haunt me. I don't know if I can. I know that I can be charitable, but the greatest of these is charity. Yes, sister.
What about like if it's something that they don't need and they want help with? Would you make a sacrifice for that, or do you just want to look at more so like food, shelter, helping them with like things like that?
You know, if it's that's going to be left up to the a discretion of a person, and where the spirit leads them. I mean, you don't want to be in a situation where you're just taken advantage of. You don't want to just, but it's because some people, trust me, I've had situations like that where I've had to say, sister, you should relax a little bit with your charity. I think there may be, you maybe get, don't be taken advantage of either, you know. So that's why it says, when you see someone, like the scripture said, who is righteous and do these things, where that they are, a righteous person, or truly in need, or without, um, you know, then you, of course, you want to help if you're able to help. Um, Even if it doesn't have to always be to an extent of, oh man, I know that they not eating, so I'm gonna, it don't always have to be that heavy of a situation. We can help when it isn't to their detriment. It could be less, but you don't want to be taken advantage of,
Yeah.
or you know what I mean, and yeah, go ahead, brother.
Sister, when you say like something that they don't need, is you saying like, say like a person that's an alcoholic, he want to come to you and get something for alcoholic beverages, and you know he don't need that, so you're not trying to give it to him. That's what you're saying, something to that nature.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
That situation, right?
Yeah.
You got some people that even lie to you, you kind of know they lying. And I know at times I felt like I wanted help, but I wanted to really go towards it. And then sometimes I just got help, but I feel bad, like, I just say, well, I know that my heart was in the right place to help. But
Right. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, it's something you, as a case by case situation. Uh, because of course we want to help outside of the body, but when it's amongst our brothers and sisters, you know, we're getting to know. We'll be, learning each other, and know and be able to be fair and knowing and understanding amongst each other. But we want to be charitable outside of the body as well. I'm not saying that not to, but you just have to exercise some wisdom on your own, and discretion for that particular instance. So let's actually we'll get finish up with this scripture. We'll go to Isaiah,
Yes, sir.
Isaiah 33.
Yes, sir. Verse 15.
Yeah. So in conclusion, we'll read this final scripture. Again, truth with our brother, right? Is what our lesson is. Let's get Isaiah 33 and 15.
Yes, sir. Everybody there? Isaiah chapter 33, verse 15. He that walk righteously and speak uprightly, he that despise the gain of oppressions.
So
That's
he that walketh righteously. So this is talking about a man walking in the righteousness and truth of the Most High and speaketh uprightly, right? Go ahead.
he that despise the gain of oppressions.
Right. He despises coming up off of somebody else, swindling and trickery and defrauding, right? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. That shake his hands from holding of bribes.
He's not dealing with bribery. Go ahead.
That stop his ears from hearing of blood and shut his eyes from seeing evil.
Right. Shunning the evil. Go ahead. Doesn't want to hear about, the hearsays or, bringing down of other people. Go ahead. Verse 16.
Yes, sir. He shall dwell on high. His place of defense shall be the munitions of rocks.
Right. So he shall dwell on high. This is where we want to be. We want to walk in righteousness and shun bribes and not look to oppress and get over. He shall dwell on high. His place of defense shall be the munitions of rocks. Go ahead.
Bread shall be given him. His waters shall be sure.
Right. That's the surety that comes through the Most High. So I wanted to end on that scripture, just bringing that surety and understanding that, again, like we were just reading in First Corinthians, that faith that comes along with charity and that hope. That faith is knowing that we shall dwell on high. Our water shall be sure. The Most High has us. And especially seeing where things are headed now, outside of even looking at the spiritual. I mean, it'd be foolish to look to put our trust and our hope and our faith into the things of this world. I mean, into the real estate. I mean, whatever you want to throw out there, into whatever. We need to be looking to put our feet in a sure place, which is the Most High. That is the true sure place. Let's get Ecclesiasticus 2 and 10. You wanted to read that, brother?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 10. And everybody, please remember this, because like our deacon saying, we finna come through some tough times. Remember, he spoke earlier about crucifying the old man. The old man was the flesh. So basically, what he's talking about is living again in the spirit. The words that Christ spoke was spirit. It wasn't to the flesh, it was to the spirit. So when you go to things like Galatians 5 and see love, joy, peace, long suffering, goodness, gentleness, faith, meekness, temperance, when you do those things, like Paul, he even said in 1 Corinthians, I die daily. So what he dying to is the flesh. And he living again in these things through Christ, through faith, like Deacon saying. Love, joy, peace. So go to Galatians 5 and read those things. And that's what we build. And we build in houses of the spirit and dying to this flesh. So with the deacon in mind, we wanted to read Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 10. It say, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Most High and was confounded? Or did any abide in his spirit and was forsaken?
Right.
Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? So the Most High ain't never forgot about nobody that ever forgot about him. So like the deacon was saying, faith. The greatest of those things he spoke about is faith. So y'all keep believing in the Most High through Christ. Grow in grace, grow in the knowledge of Yeshua, and trust that the Most High got y'all, even in these times to come. Like Christ said, all that his Father gives him, he won't lose one. Even though he was talking about the disciples then, but we are their works, we are their fruit. So he won't forget y'all neither. So keep that faith and grow in the fruits of the Spirit. the flesh will not profit.
Right on. Amen. And like the brother said there in Ecclesiastes 2 and 10, when the Most High's word will never come back void. When has he forsaken those that follow him in righteousness and truth? You won't find it. You're no different. We are no different. We have to stand on that. So thank you for that, brother. And with that, that's going to wrap up that lesson for today. And with that, we'll say shalom.
Yeah.